It's great.
After a while. Okay, so here we go. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. This is Karen Leonard, your travel industry ambassador with Special Needs Group. I want to thank you all for joining us today and for spending a little time with us. I am so thrilled to have Lisa Duff with me. She is the travel agency owner of Happy Travels to You, and she is going to be sharing a lot of her experience with us in traveling and traveling with people with special needs and scheduling travel for people with special needs as well. So she's a longtime travel advisor, and we just love the fact that she's joining us today. So Lisa, thank you so much and welcome.
Karen, I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, I love that you've taken some time out. I know this time of year is a little nuts. So let's just dive right in. I want to ask you some questions and let's see how we go. So tell me a little bit about your travel business, how long you've been in travel, how do you get started, that kind of stuff?
A very long story. I answered it in the paper when I was in South Florida for a reservation agent and was hired by Royal Caribbean. And I worked for Royal Caribbean for 10 years, starting in residence. I worked through sales service. I was a group coordinator for the Nordic Empress, which is now Empress of the Seas. And the last 3.5 years that I was there, I was selected to work in the incentive sales team and sales services. So I serviced all the groups that were sold through incentive sales and sales meetings from 10 people to 4,000 people.
Wow, that's a huge job.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
So how did you end up with your own travel agency?
Well, I was recruited by Ritz-Carlton in Coconut Grove, Florida, and I worked for them for a while. And I was the account manager for Northeast Typical. So ask me if I know a lot about pharma, and I do. My daughter at the time was turning into a teenager, and I was traveling with my group a lot, and my husband was playing Mr. Mom. And long story short, I said, okay, I really love this job at Ritz-Carlton. And one day, I always had in my mind that I wanted to open my own business. And one day I was sitting at my desk working, and I was recruited. A young lady called me on the phone. She was a recruiter, vice president of a company, a casino in Atlantic City that was getting ready to open. So interviewed there, and long story short, I was there 3.5 years. And at that time in Atlantic City, the casinos were starting to down. So sad that I was. We thought we'd go back to Florida. And then I said, no, I don't want to go back to Florida because I'm a Philly girl. And my husband looked at me and says, why don't we do what you always wanted to do? And I said, what? And I figured hit the lottery or what? So I invested in a cruise business. I took my time and I looked around and I said, it's time for me to work for myself. I want to be in charge of me, because just like what's going on in the world today, all these good workers are losing their jobs. And yes, we're going through our own in the cruise industry. But I have learned so much, taking all the courses and learning as much as I can, because I'm an avid cruiser. I love to cruise. I love to cruise with my husband. And I said, I'm going to make a difference and try to make the world a better place. So here I am, 5.5 years later.
That's wonderful. I do have to tell you, I'm having a little bit of audio difficulty with you. You break up just a little bit. So I think it's if you lean towards the camera a little bit more, it's better.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I think that works a little better. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's see. I know that you're very passionate about special needs travel. I'd like to hear why, and tell us a little bit about why and what you want people with special needs to know about travel.
I am very passionate anyway about people with special needs. My husband has had MS, multiple sclerosis, for 35 years.
Wow.
I look at life every day that when he gets up and he has a great day, it's great for us. I've really educated myself on MS, and it has been wonderful for me to learn everything that I could learn. When we lived in South Florida, everything was done at Cleveland Clinic. I mean, all his doctors, et cetera. When I accepted the job to come north, I said, and I'm, again, Philly girl, I know the hospitals. I know we have to go to University of Pennsylvania. We have to go to Jefferson Health. They're like Cleveland Clinic or UM down in South Florida. And I went online and I said, okay, what are we going to do for Gary? Well, here there's a wonderful part of the hospital called McGee Rehabilitation. And it's for people with Parkinson's, etc. And I went on the website and I found all these wonderful services for my husband: Tai Chi, yoga, there's painting, there's all kind of things to really make him and other people feel really good about themselves and keep them busy. He does a Sudoku every morning. I mean, it's just so wonderful for me to see that he has an enormous amount of people and professionals that assist him. As far as traveling, we both love to cruise, and I take a step back from the picture. And if I go on business, like if I traveled with you or business people, or even special needs, I look at it through the eye of my client. I want to make sure that these clients have the best experience. They how can I say this? I'm not going to say they need to, but I make sure that they have all the tools to make sure that they do not have to worry about one thing. And incidentally, a cruise, when it's a special needs cruise, I go on it. I travel with them. So that
wonderful.
they never have to feel alone. There's some people that travel individually, some travel by themselves, whether they're with people or families. I just down and dirty and make sure that all the cruise lines, the departments, I teach the departments that they need to know that I'm doing the right thing for them, that they don't have to worry.
I think that's fantastic. And I think you just encapsulated very, very well the benefit of working with a travel advisor in general, but a travel advisor who also understands and respects what happens when you're working with somebody with special needs. The way you were saying about seeing everything through the eyes of your client, I think that's so crucial. I'm a former travel advisor myself, and I always used to teach people, when I was teaching them and coaching them about being a travel advisor, take yourself out of the equation and make it all about your client. And, it seems to me that that's what you live by. And I think that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope people understand that, because, working with an online agency, you don't necessarily build up that one-on-one.
Exactly. I agree, Karen. And it can be something as simple as, maybe there's a single passenger that travels in a scooter and they don't want to, or let me back up a minute. There's a Mr. and Mrs. that travel together, and for whatever reason, one partner can't lift that scooter into the car to get to the pier. I would recommend them, of course, we'll book it through you, have that scooter in the cabin, but call the special services desk way in advance that I need a wheelchair for Mr. Jones when he arrives at the pier. Now I make it very clear they can't use it for the whole duration of the cruise, but when they arrive in that cabin, that scooter from special needs is going to be there.
Well, let me tell you, things have changed a little bit, and if the cruise line will allow them to take that piece of equipment off the ship for a shore excursion, we don't care. So they can use it. They may not, like you said, there may be times when it's not as easy to use, but I think, ships being what they are nowadays, I don't know. Would you agree with me in saying that ships are probably the best accessible vacation for someone with special needs?
Yes, absolutely. And I agree with you 150%. It is, again, back to my husband. I know if I go to the spa or I go doing something where I know where he's located. And now all the ships have, like, I call it the built-in radar on the watch. I don't want to use the name because I don't want to offend any company, but I know where he is in it. And he knows where I am. Where 20 years ago, I would leave something in the cabin and said, I'll be back. And it took me 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So today, when I am speaking to that guest or that group that's looking, for a cruise, I make it my business to say, I would recommend booking this ADA cabin way in advance, because these are at premium. I think they go quicker than suites and balconies.
Yeah, I would agree. Yep, I would definitely agree. So tell me about a special needs cruise that you have booked, and that you said you sail with your clients. So just tell me about some of your memories and your experiences with that and what you gained from that.
I'll probably could talk to you for 3 hours about this, but my
Pick one then.
we have not sailed for the past year, but my last one was in October of 2019. I went on one of my favorite ships, the Anthem of the Seas, and the Anthem of the Seas is generally here year round from Bayonne. And Bayonne, New Jersey, from Philadelphia is about an hour and a half away. It's without traffic, a half an hour to New York City. And when the ship pulls out of Bayonne, the Statue of Liberty is right there. So that is a draw for everybody. The great thing about Anthem is she draws from the Northeast. And for a while she was doing around 7, 8, 10-day cruises from Bayonne. Now we're getting the Oasis of the Seas. God willing, we get to sail. She's going to be doing pretty much 7-day cruise to Coco Cay and the Bahamas. My point is, within the Northeast part of the United States, the most amount of residents live in the Northeast compared to other places in the United States. But I'll even say this for South Florida. For people that live in South Florida and have the accessibility to Port Canaveral, to Fort Lauderdale, to Miami, to drive, it's terrific. It's the same thing as in the Northeast. So what I did was I had 86 guests. And I started out, and 2 of these people were friends of my husband, and it just blossomed. And these 2 people are my Pied Pipers. And I came in and did a presentation, called the cruise line and had them come in and, just talk to the guests. And I had deposits on the spot and planned it 6 months in advance and got all the perks for the guests and rented not limousines, the boxes, the box trucks, the transportation.
Yes.
And took them all, up there. And it was quite a few people that wanted to drive. And my thing for me is, once you get the deposit, you know what I mean? I am the type of person, I don't care how much something costs. Yes, I'm a consumer and I care, but I look for the little things.
Yeah.
If buying something and, let's just say, for example, I walk into a room and there's a bottle of champagne there, or there's fruit that comes in at night, that makes me feel really special. My thing is, I wanted to make sure that my guests were taken care of. So what I do in a case like that is, as soon as the deposit goes in, working at Royal Caribbean for all the years that I've worked there, I know the ins and outs of who to contact at each cruise line. So immediately I will call special services. In this case, it was 6 months out. I said, I need to speak with somebody. They called me back right away, sent me forms. I call every single guest and wanted to know what their requirements were, what their special needs were, etc. What can I do to make your experience the trip of a lifetime? We got on board the ship. The dining room manager was waiting for me. I mean, they just didn't know what to do for me. The group coordinator was there waiting for me. I do this with all my groups, but especially with my special needs. I give them a little, because I would want somebody to take care of me or my husband that way.
Absolutely. Excuse me. And I know people with special needs sometimes feel like they're going to be a burden to those that they travel with. So going that little extra mile to show them that they are special and they are wanted and they are, encouraged to really relax and just enjoy the cruise with their friends and family. I think that's just an extra icing on the cake. And to hear that you treat everyone that way is just fantastic. I love that. That's like the best thing.
And I do tell you that nobody went to bed before 1 a.m.
That's good too. I love that. Everybody's having a great time and there's so much to do and socialize with and everything like that. So when you are working with a special needs group and you travel with them, what kind of challenges have you come across and have been able to overcome?
And I'm generalizing. It doesn't happen on every ship, so I do not, say this, but there's been times, and it only happened to me once with the groups that I've had, that everything was spelled out from the cruise line shore side. I get on the ship and everything was spelled out, you meaning the group coordinator contacted me within 2 hours that I did get on the ship. There was supposed to be special dining, not so much special like cuisine, but special accessibility into the dining room for them to eat. And it didn't happen.
Oh, no.
So I'm pretty calm girl. And I just said, okay, we're all going to go to the bar and drinks are on me, which and everybody was happy with that. Nobody was upset. Everybody was in a scooter or a wheelchair. Everybody was fine.
Yeah.
And I contacted the hotel director, and within 15 minutes, he made sure that everything was okay. I don't know if something was dropped, the ball was dropped or whatever. We were told to come to the dining room for second seating, 20 minutes before they would get us all situated. We got there, the crowd was there. So at the end, and I've been in service a really long time, in the hospitality industry, there's something called service recovery. And service recovery means that they are going to take care of everything when they're on board, because they don't want those, what I call the nasty gram surveys to come back.
Right.
Especially with this market, not that any other market is not important. This market has my heart. This market has my heart and this way of traveling. And nobody complained. Nobody complained. Just the way, if I was, if it was just me, I would have lost it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I moved myself in a situation. I'm technically too. They showed me, I had paperwork from the shoreside cruise line that said, here's what's going to happen. The onboard coordinator said it was going to happen, but it didn't. And you know what? Things happen, Karen, and I just removed myself from it and fixed it.
That's exactly right. And, I'm glad you told that story because, even though you planned down to the last period of the whole thing, the you dotted your I's, you crossed your T's, things can happen. And, that's another reason why it's such a great idea to work with a travel advisor, because somebody like you, in this case, you stepped right up, you took care of them. They were all good. They didn't really have to worry about it. And that is the value of working with a travel advisor. Something goes not quite the way you expect, your travel advisor can step in and see how they can remedy the situation for everyone. Let me ask you this question. What has been your favorite experience in traveling with your husband?
I will say they all been wonderful. They all have been wonderful. We were laughing last week. We've never been on a bad cruise, especially now in this climate that we're in, and some people are neighbors. And we said we've never been on a dirty ship. We've always had the greatest time. I will say probably. I have a lot of favorite destinations, and to me, the ship is the destination on any ship that I go on. That's always been my thing. I have a lot of favorite destinations, but the all-time favorite has to be sailing in the Caribbean to the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. That to me is like my heart of the Caribbean. I just love it down there. I think it's just, it's one of those magical places that if you just need to get away and you don't have to take a lot of shore excursions. Of course, now you have to, but it's just a fun place. It really is a fun. Now we've had quite a few that we've gone on that we've absolutely loved. We're planning one right now. Our daughter lives in Melbourne, Australia, and next year, God willing, while I'm there, we're going to take a trip, around Australia as well. But I love every ship.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I love the ABC Islands myself. The people there are so nice. I have wonderful stories. My husband and I actually honeymooned in Aruba, so down there as well.
It's just so fun.
Let me ask you a question. If you had anything at all to say to the special needs community about traveling, what would it be?
I would say to give me a call, because I will take really good care of you. My attention to detail is there. I live with a man every day that has, a physical ailment. It's really, really important, if it's not me, and I hope it is, that you would work with a travel advisor, because if you need help, or you are, for example, flying into Miami to take a cruise and your airline is delayed, or your shuttle is not there, you can't pick up the phone and call somebody online because they're not going to help you. I really feel that people that are seasoned, that are educated, that have a passion for the business like me they will help you. I had a client, I want to say about 2 years ago, that lost her passport in Barcelona. I received a call in the middle of the night. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a brain surgeon. I picked up the phone because I knew something had happened. She lost her passport. I picked up the phone. I contacted the American Express office in Barcelona. And in 2 hours, this young lady and her husband had a new passport for her. So these are the things that I feel that they are putting their good money and their, let's say, their life to sail with us. And they want somebody that they can count on, that they know that I will be there for them.
Yeah. And I'd like to encourage anyone who has any special needs to call Lisa. Obviously, she has a lot of expertise in working with all different kinds of special needs, mobility, oxygen, whatever else that you might be dealing with. She can definitely help you. So with that being said, I want to stress to you her phone number, her contact information, in case you do want to plan a dream trip. I know we'll be traveling sometime in 2021. Yes, we will. And we're all hoping that you guys will take advantage. There will be sales, not SAILS, but SALES. There'll be sales and deals coming out in the beginning of the year. We call it our wave season. And please reach out to Lisa, and I'm sure she'll take excellent care of you. Her phone number is 954-614-2983. Again, 954-614-2983, or you can reach her at her email address, which is sailtheworld365@gmail.com. Again, SAIL, theworld365@gmail.com. So I want to thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed working with you over the last couple of weeks as we've been getting to know one another. And you have such a wealth of information. I would encourage anyone to reach out to who has any questions about traveling in general or traveling with special needs. And, again, thank you, Lisa, for joining us and spending some time.
It is my pleasure. And thank you for having me, allowing me to wonderful Zoom call. And want to wish you a very happy holiday. And I look forward to sending a lot of business your way.
Well, thank you on that too. And happy holidays to you as well. Merry Christmas to everyone. And
thank you.
Look for this Zoom meeting on our YouTube channel. And Lisa's also going to have it to distribute as well. We'll see you out on Facebook and YouTube for this. And again, thanks so much, everyone. Have a great holiday season. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Bye-bye.